That's hilarious. 1 minute.
Oopsies. We're live.
Are we live?
I think so. I don't know. You tell
I'll
me.
do my double check.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Oh, we are. Okay.
Woohoo. Can you make a comment and let me see if it pops up this time? Otherwise, we'll just use your phone. Testing. No.
Why doesn't it pop up?
What did I just do? Oh, we're very small on the screen now. Okay. Don't be scared by my screaming, people.
Okay, did that go through now? No, it did not.
Okay. Alright, well, that's what it is.
Facebook has technical difficulties, apparently.
Just like my cell phone today. Anybody else have cell phone problems?
Yeah, anyone else have Verizon and their phones are not working?
Bring back the landlines. I'm just talking about that. I want my old house number back.
And I gotta remember numbers again.
Have you forgotten them?
Yes. I barely know anybody's numbers now. What do you mean?
I feel like if I tried hard enough, I would remember your house number.
I'm pretty sure that's like a nervous system overload thing, too. I just can't. I'm not tracking those things anymore. Thanks for reminding me.
I thought you were saying there was something wrong with me. That was like me today when I'm like, today's been a week, but I'm okay. Is that bad or is that good?
I think it's good because we have to practice what we preach. And you and I have both had to take a lot of deep breaths today. It has been a day.
Let's start with some breathing.
Okay, all right. I think everybody could benefit from it. Do you want to lead us in breathing this time?
No, I want. Fine, I'll leave because you need to breathe.
Okay. Hopefully the preview doesn't stop on us breathing this time because that was really funny.
Right? All right. Find your seat. Ground yourself. So breathe in we'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. And out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And in 4, 3, 2, 1. And out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And a big one just to let it all out.
That does feel so much better. Seriously feels so much better. Oh. All right. Ready to start now? Now I feel a little bit more calm. Although I've got to tell you guys that while doing hard things gets easier each time, it doesn't automatically get easier. And even though we did a successful live, I am still very nervous again.
For no reason. You got this.
Yeah, it is nice to have you for support, though.
I'm just like, let's swing it.
That's how you can do hard things, when you have support with you.
Support is good. So last week we talked about why change feels so hard when you are exhausted, and how regulation, not willpower, is what actually helps those habits stick when you want to make those positive changes. And tonight we're going to talk about something a little different but connected still. And this idea is about us just surviving when
Could be thriving.
When we could be thriving, right? And then calling that survival normal. Oh, that's just how it is. That's just life.
Well, you look around and you're like, well, everybody feels like me. And I think we said the last time, when it's common, it means it's okay that it's happening, but it doesn't mean it's good or optimal.
Right.
And it is kind of hard to know. I mean, when you look around and you think everybody feels the same that you do, you start to forget that isn't the best you can feel. It's like that now my baseline has just lowered because everybody else feels that way too.
Yeah, right. And like just by bringing it down, again, bringing everybody in the same, it doesn't make it.
Hi, Misty. Thank you for letting us know.
It doesn't make, again, it's not just because it's typical and it's common or even considered normal, it doesn't mean that that's what we have to settle for, or that it's good. So
hoping to bring you a little hope today because we do that for each other often. But on this journey, and when you're not feeling well in general, there can be a lack of hope. But it's almost it's like disillusionment of what does good mean? And you probably see on all these different, even our own flyers and graphics and stuff, like you can feel better and you can feel, but like what does that actually mean anymore when you felt bad for so long? I mean, I don't know about you, but I felt foggy for so long at times that I forget what it feels like to be able to think normally and to not feel like I'm walking around with 100 pounds on my back for no reason.
No, the first time I remember finally cutting out for food wise and like doing my first round of elimination diets, I remember saying, I did not know I could feel this good. I didn't know that this is what you were supposed to feel like, because I had issues for so long that it was just what it was. And I go back to that moment often where I'm like, wow, like that's, if that's how good I could feel just doing that, how good can I feel doing all of it?
It's like a good challenge, right?
Yeah.
And I find it ironic that I feel like you would say the same thing, but I feel better now than I did 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And if you listen to the rhetoric out there, it's like that should be the opposite.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, our best days are past us, right?
Yeah.
But actually,
you're in your 40s now. It's all downhill.
Why are you aging us on camera?
I know. Because we look so young and youthful.
It's true. Especially with our new lighting. We really upgraded our
I did get
set.
mistaken by a first student a couple times today because I had like my pigtails and a hat on. So
I love when I get carded. I'm like, ooh.
thanks. But the idea of this is central to our programs that we run to, because the idea is like, all right, well, where do you want? What do you want? Like, how good do you want to feel? How good do you think you can feel? And then we bridge the gap, and we like to fill. We want you to fill in the middle part so that you can get to where, even further than you think that you can be.
I was just going to say, a lot of times when people work with us, they set the bar. I'm not saying it's low. They don't realize that it's low. But once they achieve something and they're like, oh, wait, now I know how good this can feel. Like, let's keep going.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about this a little bit later, that should be done in baby steps, because you can have high aspirations. And if you go too big, too quick, that's a problem too, like we were talking about with the setting New Year's resolutions and your capacity. But we would like you guys to be able to see that, you know, the sky really is the limit. And that there is even better than you have probably believed for yourself.
Right. And if you saw the title of this, right, like, are you surviving or thriving? I kind of laughed at it because I'm like, yeah, we're surviving. Sometimes there's those seasons that you go through where you're just like, I'm going to survive. But we want to get out of that season, right? So it looks very functional from the outside, right? You're showing up, you're doing the thing, you're taking care of all the people that you need to take care of and the job you're doing. But inside, you're waking up tired, you're looking for the caffeine, just trying to power through everything. You're foggy, irritable, disconnected from what's going on around you. And then at the end of the day, you're just like, oh my gosh, get me to bed, I need to rest, but you're not getting that rest because you're in that survival mode.
Yeah, and that functioning, I love that word, because when we are functioning and we're doing all the things we're supposed to be doing and we're showing up, it's like, oh, we're doing fine, right?
Yeah,
but you're smiling when you're supposed to smile. You
hit it!
You're going to work like you're supposed to, but how do you actually feel in those moments? Are you on autopilot? Do you actually feel like you're living? Because I don't know, sometimes I feel like I pull into my drive, I'm like, I don't even remember driving that last half a mile. I'm not even in my own body half the time. And that's just something that, when it goes on for so long, you forget what it feels like to not be like that.
Right. So we're going to jump into like a little test. Not a test, but evaluation.
Of course, the teacher's given us a quiz already.
I know, I have to say this all the time. It's not a test, it's an evaluation. There are no right or wrong answers. It is just what is true to you.
And no judgment or anything like that at all. This is just trying to shine light on your baseline and bring some awareness to where you're at.
Right. So if you were to rate yourself, so if you have a piece of paper and you want to write it down, go for it. If you text yourself, that's cool too. Or just mentally, just try to keep track of, there's only 5 things we're going to ask. So it's a scale. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, the positive end of the scale, and 1 being the lower end of the scale, how would you rate yourself? First, your sleep. 0 to 10.
I can guess what yours is going to be.
What would you guess?
Well, you said you woke up early, but you did get good sleep the other day, so maybe like a 6.
So I was going to say that.
Oh, look at that!
My sleep is always a thing that I am working on constantly, because.
See, mine is probably a 6 or a 7 too, which I feel like you might be shocked at, because I don't have a hard time falling asleep. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I go to bed at 7 p.m. if I want to, because the sun's going down, and why the heck am I not going to bed? But I wake up super early, and while I love that because I get a million things done, I am realizing when I'm waking up sometimes at 3:30, 4 a.m., that's not me waking up, that's my nervous system, and I'm not actually getting good rest. So while I feel like I'm getting enough sleep, like I'm logging the hours, I don't have insomnia, I'm not up all night, but when I'm not waking up feeling really restful, that's a really big clue too. So that's one of those things of like how we can talk ourselves into thinking that functioning is thriving when really I'm just getting by on decent sleep.
I got more sleep. I'm doing great today. And then the next one on our list here, energy. How would you rate your energy? Right, so there are days when I look at my sleep tracker and it's like, I got over 7 hours of sleep, which is a lot for me. And then I'm like, I'm dragging what? And it's the quality and all of the things, right? Which I wish we had time to get into on this call. But how would you rate your energy on average? Good, bad, in between?
And it probably fluctuates, right? Like when I first wake up, I usually have a lot of energy until, well, for me, it's like 9 a.m. because that's your like 3 p.m. slump for normal people. Around 11, 12, I need that second cup of coffee. And that's how I know, too. I'm like, okay, now I've had 2 cups of coffee. I'm going for the third. Should probably hydrate instead. But it's just a good thing to be aware of what your energy levels are at. But I don't... Good reminder, right? Everybody drink your water now.
Drink your water. Stay hydrated. All right, so you have sleep, energy. How is your stress management? Right, so the things around us, we can't control everything. But how do we control our response to that? So that's your stress management. So what would you rate yourself? 0 to 10. The next one is digestion. So they're all intertwined. How would you rate your digestion on an average base? So good, bad. And then your last one is mental clarity, that brain fog. So to state it in a positive sense, like how good is your mental clarity? So is it a 10 or closer to the lower end of the scale?
I feel like that mental clarity can be confusing too. I think I always thought that I was anxious or overwhelmed or something, but it was really just brain fog. And again, another thing without bringing awareness to how you feel on good days and how you feel on bad days and things like that, you're just generalizing and lumping everything into, I'm stressed. But it might not be stress. It might be like I'm having a hard time thinking clearly right now. And, so just being more aware of those little nuances of your shifting emotions and sensations in your body.
Right? Awareness. Mm-hmm. So you've got that scale, and they're just numbers. So when I said sleep, energy, stress management, digestion, and mental clarity, what was the first number that popped into your head? Don't overanalyze it. And then let's think about that. Like, were they all closer to 10? Were they closer to 2? Where are you on that? And again, we're not judging ourselves, we're not judging each other. We don't want to use the numbers as our labels, right? These are just baselines. It's your floor. Okay, so
they also fluctuate all the time too. So what you might be labeling today, especially in the season, I mean, probably everybody's energy is lower than normal and things too. That's why we talk a lot about not judging and normalizing this kind of stuff. It's good to be aware of it, but we don't need to berate ourselves over it or feel like we're broken or less than or anything like that at all. It's just simply having awareness of what is your current baseline capacity at.
And there's hope around that, right? So like whatever program we're doing, we always start with an evaluation at the beginning. We want to know where our baseline is. We want to know where that floor is so that we know how to build on it. Because if you don't have that foundation, you're not going to be able to build a good structure. So,
and also you're probably not going to notice those little wins and the changes that you're starting to feel already if you aren't like super cognizant of how you were feeling when you entered into a program or when you first started working on yourself and things like that. So it's good both ways. You have to be able to notice the shifts when you start sliding down, but you also want to notice those little wins when you start sliding up.
Yeah. And bringing back to like resolutions and stuff like that, a lot of us want all of these things, right? But there's a disconnect almost always between our desire to get something and our capacity to be able to do those things. They're two different things. And until they are in alignment, you're not going to be able to progress in whatever direction you want to progress in.
Yeah, they're like two different versions of yourself. We always talk about the like 7 or 8 a.m. version of us wants to do all the things. And you get to about 3 p.m. like, what was I thinking? This task list is way too long.
I did that yesterday, so we can cover classes, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. I'll do hall duty last period, and I'm like, last period me was not first period me. The beginning of the day, I was all ambitious, and last period, I'm like, I just want to sit at my desk and stare at the wall in silence. But like we want things. We all want to do things. We want to like experience things. And when we're working on ourselves, it could show up in the way of I'm going to work out every single day. I'm going to, empty the pantry and have all healthy foods. I'm going to wake up early and get a head start on the day. I just want to be organized and I want to feel calm and I want to be grounded.
Sure, all good things.
All really.
But
good
if we
things.
try, we have these really high aspirations without having the capacity to achieve all of them simultaneously, because that's ridiculous to think that anybody's capable of doing that. We are just inevitably going to burn out and fail, and then think like, I'm a failure. I can't do this. No living human being can do the amount of things I tell myself I can do in a given day. So.
Exactly. And I'm the same way. So. Dan always says to me, like, I am trying to fit 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag. And I'm like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. But sometimes you need to be checked. Sometimes you need somebody. I have a Danielle in my life. So that every now and then I can start saying stuff and she's like, it might work better if this. Or did you realize that you're doing this because of this? And I'm like, right. So even in the position of being able to say to the world, like, I can help you, like that, I need help.
Well, yeah, because every time I tell you something, I'm also like, and you should do this, and you should do this. I'm talking to both of us at the same time because it's way
Hold
easier.
up the mirror.
It's just it's easier to see in somebody else, and not because we're just like judgmental people, but when you're in something, when you're like in the thick of it, it is hard to see the overarching perspective. And that's what, like, having somebody to help you out and support you, or working with a coach, or joining a program or something, that's what it helps you with. Because especially when you're super burnout, you don't have the ability to pull yourself out to kind of see logically and to say to yourself, okay, what's my current capacity at? Like, I don't know. I'm in this pinhole view right now.
What is capacity? What are you talking about, you crazy people? And you know what I would say? My former self would say, like, don't be so soft. Just do it. Like, just get through it. Why are you just complaining so much? Ugh, just
hustle culture. I wore that like a badge of honor. I like put my cape on every day. I'm like, I can do all the things. I'm just gonna white knuckle it through the day, and that I thought was age strength. And again, I realized that was a coping mechanism. Like, I had to have a very hard conversation with me, which then I told you about because we're the same person.
And then I had to psychoanalyze myself for every day since then. But it's fine.
You're welcome.
Because we're learning. We're learning, right?
But it brings it back to awareness. When you can think you're doing the right things, but we were trying to solve the problem with the problem. Right? Like, I was like, there's way too many things on my to-do list. Like, I should just add more and be more
I should get this new to-do list.
It's clearly just because I'm not working hard enough and long enough. Like,
I didn't write it pretty enough on that. We're going to have to rewrite it over here.
Yeah, then I would just add another to-do item of, like, get better at this to-do list.
Why why not, right? But ultimately, when we bring this back to like our goals and stuff, it is not for lack of motivation. It's just lack of capacity. You want it. You want to go to the gym, but you're staring at all your sneakers and you're like, I don't know what sneakers to wear. And like you're like frozen, and that is where you need to work.
And going back to, it's January. It's literally freezing outside. Like, I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. I hate the cold. But I used to set these really high aspirational goals. Like, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. And I work from home. I leave my house, like, maybe 3 days a week now. Like, for me to say that I'm going to go to the gym every day is insane. So maybe, okay, I'll do some yoga at home. I'll go for a walk to get out in nature. And that's the difference of understanding your own capacity. I'm not sitting here saying, well, I throw in the towel and just lay on the couch all day every day. Like, no, there's nothing wrong with me right now. I just have a limited capacity. It's cold, I'm tired, it's dark. Like, I'm going to do something that's a little bit smaller and take the, like, what I like to say, right size action. And that's something that we help people with in programs and stuff too, because it's hard to know, like we're saying, when you're in it, you don't know what the right size action is. Right. Because you can't always match your capacity. If we're matching our capacity, we're not growing. But if we are trying to double our capacity, that's just going to set you up for failure. So you have to look at your capacity. If it's like, I don't know, scale of 1 to 10. So our aspirations are at a 10, our capacity is at a 2. All right, we need to take the right size action. We're going to say, we got to bring the aspirations down to a 3. One step up, okay? That is going to expand us and help us to grow and help us to, through lived experience, grow more capacity, because doing the things helps you. That, like, when you do something that is hard, all of a sudden you have experience to reference back to. Your nervous system says, like, all right, the last time I did this, I didn't die. I'm pretty safe here, so I can do this again. And so that helps you to be able to expand your capacity just by taking a small step in the right direction.
When you just try to get 6 pounds into the 5-pound bag,
that's
the bag stretches a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then it slowly stretches more and more.
But you can also
do 10 pounds in.
You can like stretch the bag out through nervous system work and emotional regulation and having support, having fun. That's one thing that I have really liked learning, actually. I always thought that healing and growing had to be hard, and now I'm realizing that like having fun and laughing and hanging out with friends and bonding is actually nervous system work. I don't know, I feel like I just got a permission slip to be a kid again.
Yeah. When we did that solstice event, I don't know if we talked about this last week, where we were doing a mindful walk and you're supposed to be silent for the whole time and walk super, super slow. But we walked outside and the UPS people were delivering, and they were watching, and they were running, and we're trying to take the smallest steps ever. And we weren't talking, but we were all laughing hysterically and still doing the thing, but like that laughter in the moment, even though it wasn't necessarily what we were planning on doing, was just as good, if not better, than what that tool was supposed to bring, just because together laughing with people is just amazing.
Which is actually a funny comparison to kind of side note on nervous system, because the easiest way to slow your nervous system down and signal that you're safe is to literally slow down. Like, I talk really fast, I walk really fast,
take a breath.
I do all I have to do is slow it down a little bit. So it's like what you guys were doing out there was regulating your nervous system, walking slow. The UPS drivers are like, we gotta get to the next stop, we got this to do, we got this to do.
It was the weekend before Christmas, so I don't blame them. But
you can like see the difference in people's faces, you can feel the difference in energy. Try it out sometime, guys. If you're walking fast or you're cleaning, I do this when I'm vacuuming my house, as if I'm in some kind of like a speed vacuuming competition or something against nobody. I'm always winning though, so.
Always. Of course you are. So ultimately what we're trying to say is like, it's not always easy to see this on your own. So if you have ever tried to set goals, if you feel like you just can't get out of your own way, that is typical. That doesn't mean it's good. So we are.
But it's normal.
But it's normal.
You're not broken.
You're not.
You're not going to not be able to do all the things.
Yeah.
I just got to say that and normalize this stuff so much. But normal does not equal good, but it does mean it's okay and that there's hope for you and us and everyone.
So this is where we want to shift our goals, right? So instead of aiming for that ceiling, we want to build where you're at. So we're going to, where is your capacity? Where do we start? how do you get there? So you take those 1% steps to, all right, I'm going to pick my shoes out the day before so I don't have to make that decision the next day of what shoes I'm going to wear. Instead of, going from like 5 hours of sleep to 8 hours of sleep, I'm just going to go to sleep 15 minutes early. I'm just going to like set an alarm on my phone from when I typically go to bed. Like, let's build a little baby steps, right? Tiny sip of water before your coffee in the morning. I know that sounds terrible to some people, but right? When you're just, you're bored and you're scrolling on your phone, put it down and just stand outside for 60 seconds and breathe, and then go back inside. Like that is helpful to your nervous system. All these things are taking steps in the right direction to regulate your nervous system so that you can build on it.
It's because it is kind of like this backdoor entryway to your nervous system too. When you do things slowly, like we were talking about your 10 pounds in a 5 pound bag. Like if you were to take that 5 pound bag and put the 10 pounds in, your nervous system's like, this is not fit. Freak out, alarm system all over the place. But you put 5.5 pounds in and it's like, something feels a little off here, but I can't tell. Then you put another half a pound in, and it's like, it does not realize. And what that actually means is that you're not going to fight it. Like that, 2 different versions of yourself is like, that is desire and capacity. The version of yourself is like, what is wrong with me? I know I want to do this, but I can't get myself to do it. And the version of yourself that's going, we ain't doing this. That's your capacity limit. And you really can raise that slowly and systematically and consistently. It's really more about consistency than anything. Mm-hmm. I think about when I haven't been running or even walking or anything, and I'm like, I'm going to go for a 3-mile run. Yeah, I'm not going to go for a 3-mile run.
That sounds about right.
I just have to tell myself I'm going to go out there and go for like a 1-minute run, and I'm just going to walk if I have to. Usually you'll end up running more than that because now you're already out there in a body in motion, and the same thing, it's not even just literally movement. Anything in motion, it's like pushing that boulder down the hill. As soon as it starts moving, it's going to keep moving. But to get yourself to start the action, you have to take that right size step. You have to take that micro momentum, the smallest step possible. And it feels like death to your ego because you want to take that huge leap. But it is
like, I'm stronger than this. I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for how long?
That's the thing too, and that's how you can judge. Like, what's the right step? Is like, what can you do most days, even on the days that you're tired? Mm-hmm. Like, what can you push yourself to do on most days? And that's not going to be going from 0 to 100 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a couple miles an hour over that.
Consistently average.
Yeah, and what we do in our programs is we help people to do that because, like we were saying before, it's really hard to tell what your own capacity is. A lot of times you are underestimating it, and sometimes you're overestimating it to kind of course correct. So we help people to do that so that they can take that right size step because, like Christina was saying, it's consistency, and consistency builds momentum. And momentum is what actually drives the action and motivation. Like, we always think that when I feel motivated, then I'll take action. It's actually the action that gives you the
reverse.
Yep.
Reverse order.
And it'll need to be massive action. It can be literally taking out your sneakers, putting them by the door, and you are all of a sudden like starting to build momentum and starting to build motivation for the next morning when you want to go to the gym. It's as simple as that, but it feels hard because you're like, well, what do I got to do way more than this or nothing at all? I guess if you're like me, I'm an all or nothing black and white person. If I can't take the biggest step ever, I'm just going to take none.
Yeah. No, and I said this to myself the other day, it might have been yesterday. I'm like, I need to go to the gym. Oh, but I forgot my sneakers at home. So I went home and they're all in the wrong direction, and I'm like, well, I'm not even going to go to the gym now because... But then I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, I actually have an hour.
Wait, how often do you forget your sneakers?
Every day.
I was going to say, I was there that day. This is the same day.
No, it was another day. It was the next time after that I tried to go to the gym. Well, we're consistent here at least. But
I think you need a bigger bag.
I have a bajillion. They need to live in the car, but, whatever. Stop distracting me from my story. Anyway, my point was I just backed off on my goal was it wasn't going to happen. I wasn't going to get to the gym and be there for the full hour. Like, I couldn't. I didn't have sneakers unless I wanted to go barefoot, which I didn't. And so instead of just scrapping it completely, I said out loud, because Lil was with me, and she goes, I thought you were going to go to the gym. I'm like, I was going to the gym, but now I need my sneakers. She's like, so we're not going to the gym anymore? And she wanted to go because she was going to sit there.
Oh, Lil became your coach. I like it.
Yeah. So she was like, we're not going. Not because she wanted me to work out, because she wanted to sit there on the iPad. And I was like, actually, I can go to the gym. I can probably go to the gym for 35 minutes, and then I have to leave. And I did. And I'm like, oh. And I felt good. I got a decent workout, and I wasn't disappointed with myself because I was able to like quickly reframe what my goal was in the moment instead of the hour. We're just reducing the time, and I still got the workout in. So ultimately, where we're trying to get to all around the board here is that like what we want to build on whatever your baseline is. So you become aware of your baseline, realize that you have goals, you want things, and that's excellent, and we want you to have goals too, and we want to be there to help you bridge that gap between that baseline and getting to your ultimate goal.
And it really is, it's not impossible. We don't want to sit here and say, like, you have to have a coach and you have to join a program or anything. It's definitely possible, but like we were talking about before the call, that when your nervous system is so depleted and you're burnt out and you've tried a million things, or you've got that brain fog and you don't even know where to start, it's like you've been treading water in the middle of the ocean for like 14 years, and now you're starting to sink. So you need a life vest, or you need somebody to throw you a raft or something to help you out so that you can rest for a second, come back to shore, recuperate. Like, sometimes you need help when you're in those moments. And now you can go out and swim. Like, you've already gathered up the strength, you already understand the water, you know yourself a little bit better and things like that. But like, when you are that depleted, it really is hard to save yourself, and it's hard to even realize where you are. And talking about that baseline, like when I'm in those moments of survival mode or I am burnt out, like, I don't know what my baseline is. I'm like, why are you even saying these words to me right now? Yeah. So it's just nice to have somebody to reflect something back to you, ask you the right questions, pull you out of the water for a second so that you can take a breath, recalibrate to your surroundings, realize, where you're trying to even go. Half the time, I don't know, we set these goals in a million directions and we're trying to run all these different ways that it's really just a lot to do when you're in it. And that's why we talk about support. And it can be a friend, it can be anybody else. But I mean, we know what we're doing here. We've done it on our own for a long time. Like, we keep saying that we're trying to save you guys time. Like, we don't want you to be like us. Struggling
Don't want to take the scenic route.
Yeah.
It's not as pretty as you would think it is.
And it's just helpful, and it's also helpful to know things. Like, it's funny because I'm always get very, I'm hard on myself because I run a wellness business, and if I'm not feeling well and being perfect, and how am I going to do this kind of a thing? And I always look at Christina to be my mentor, and so when she's like, I need help today, I was like, okay, cool, we're both on the same level playing field. Like, I can take a sigh of relief and stop judging myself. Like, everybody goes through these things, and everybody needs help sometime, even people who own businesses to do this, like us.
Lifeguards sometimes need saving too.
That is very true.
Hey, it's okay. So if we could leave you guys with a question for the week, it would be, if thriving were possible for me, what would feel different? Sorry, I lost. My brain shut off halfway through the question. If thriving were possible for me, what would feel different? I'm going to have to think about the answer to that question for myself.
You know what I was just thinking? We should kind of go backwards. Like, we didn't introduce ourselves and tell everybody who we are. Just in case they didn't join the first one. We're assuming that you guys watched the first one, but just in case you didn't.
Well, it's funny you say that because a couple people in the last week have said, like, so what are you guys doing? What are you doing?
We don't know.
So I was, well, do you want to do introductions?
Yes,
Okay.
you start. Go.
Hi, my name is Christina. I run the business Point Nourish, and I am here to help ultimately I help busy moms generally build routines and just kind of get control of their lives in a more holistic way, which generally involves choosing more natural options, detoxing the house and home, and working to integrate it into your day so it doesn't seem like a huge burden. Just slowly shifting into that wellness world.
If you think that you can't do wellness because you're too busy, this is your girl here. If that is what you're
Today has been a week, in case you were wondering.
in fitting in healthy habits and routines into a busy schedule. You really are an expert at that.
Oh, thanks. I think that I can fit more into that 5-pound bag because of the habits and stuff that I've developed over the years.
Yeah, and the resources and tools, and
Yeah.
which is what we want to share with you guys. Well, I'm Danielle, and I own the business Mountains of Wellness. So I am a mind, body, soul growth coach and healer, and I talk about both of those things because I think they're different parts of the same journey. Because I started my own personal journey because of an autoimmune disorder and trying to figure out, when the doctors couldn't, what was going on with me. And in that, trying to figure that out, I realized how closely tied my emotional state and just my career path and my state of just overall wellness and my passions and my spirituality and all of these things were also closely tied together. That I really couldn't just look at my physical health to try to figure out what was going on. I had to look at everything, and everything is affected when you don't feel well. So I basically went down the rabbit hole of just every healing modality that I could find. And I was a little bit frustrated with Western medicine, so I got into things like energy work, because I am a Reiki master teacher. I got into holistic health, so I am certified in integrative nutrition. Honestly, I have just 1,000 certifications because I love to learn. I like to collect credentials. And I did this all really for myself at first, but I really started realizing over the years that everybody needs somebody to tell them, like, whatever you heard, basically what we were saying at the beginning, like I was told a million times that how I was feeling was normal, and I just started to accept it after a while. It's like, I don't feel well, but apparently this is as good as I'm ever going to feel, kind of a thing. So I kind of set out on that path to help people through mind, body, soul approach, whether you are trying to heal something like burnout, chronic illness, stuff like that, or you're trying to grow in whatever way, whether that's through your physical health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, anything like that at all. And Christina and I have started coming together to put programs together because we've been doing this, personally together for how many years now, and just realizing that like healing doesn't happen in isolation. And honestly, like we've been saying, like I would never even be able to be on a Facebook Live without sitting here next to her right now. She is my confidence. You really do need support like that, but it is so fun to be able to work with a friend who makes you feel like you can do all the things, and then help other people to feel like they can do all the things and feel better too. Aww. So
listen, I have never led a breathing thing unless it was my kids, because usually Danielle's here and I'm like, the expert. I learned how to breathe from you. Like literally every time I say like I need to like slow down, like I have to just call Danielle so she can tell me to just, it's okay, slow down, like breathe.
We all need help sometimes.
Yeah.
But we have been really trying to put together, honestly, we keep evolving all of our ideas for programs and events and things like that because we're really trying to meet real people's needs. So we started out doing events and then realizing that we wanted to do something that was more longer lasting and helping people to really truly heal. So we started this ETT journey, which is Elevate, Transform, and Thrive, and it's the group that everybody is in right now. We did our first group last year, and really just finding that the mix of learning, bonding, having community, we do things through social media, so like the virtual calls like we're doing right now, but we do in-person events and retreats as well in that program. And just teaching people different tools, tips, tricks, and things like that, because we're really starting to find too that like most people know what to do, right? We know what to eat. We know that we should be sleeping well. We know we should be drinking water, all these things. But the thing that we actually need help with is why aren't we doing that? And how do we overcome those barriers? And how do we continue to believe in ourselves when we lose hope or form new habits like we've been talking about? There is an actual like structure and science behind forming a new habit. It's not just I just picked this and I'm going to do it. There are things that you need to do, and you need the support along the way. So we're starting that in February 1st is our kickoff retreat. But it is 3 months long, so 90 days, and there are one-on-one calls, so everybody gets coaching that's personalized to them. We do group calls so that we're forming a support community and we learn from each other. And Christina and I participated in the last one. And I don't know about you, I'm doing it again because I need it too. So we're right there alongside you guys.
That's why we did the detox a couple months ago, because we needed to do a detox.
All the programs that we do are really because we want to do them and then we want friends to join us.
Yeah,
So.
be our friend.
What did I miss for the program in this field?
So we start off with like a retreat event and end with a retreat event, in person coaching community.
Yeah, because it really does to give you, we can talk about, like we were saying at the beginning, we can talk about you can feel better, but what does that actually mean? So we want to start out with a retreat where we do nervous system regulation and we learn a little bit, but we gather together, and what does it feel like to be in a community of other like-minded people with you who want to do the same thing, who are, cheering you on and understand the path that you're on. So we want to infuse this program with those kinds of moments that are like real life experience of what does it mean and how can I feel to be, well, in the best version of myself possible.
And have some fun with some people too.
I know, because wellness does not have to be hard or heavy as much as I want to tell myself that for some reason.
Laughter is medicine. Laughter is medicine. And no one can tell me that if you got together with some friends and you went out and laughed and had a good time for a couple hours, you feel better when you come home.
You definitely do.
And it's all of that. Laughter, the community, the connection, everything. And we're trying to bring all of that together in, a wellness setting.
Yeah, and using all of our learned experience and lived experience, because we have, been through it all ourselves, but like Christina knows a ton about supplements and essential oils, and so we can talk to people about the toxins in their house and in their diets and things like that. And then I do. I'd like to do Reiki with people during this journey. So I really do think that the energy work is really great for nervous system regulation. So we'll have a little bit of that spirituality component and energy behind this program as well. But we talked about the last time, the pillars of health: nutrition, hydration, movement, sleep. All of those things, but in ways that we can really help you to, like we were saying at the beginning, make those right size steps to really start to raise the floor.
Raise the floor.
And the ceiling, so you know what's actually possible.
Everything moves, yeah. And that way you're integrating it in, and you don't have to think about it after the fact. If you do it the right way, after the 90 days, it just is you now. Those things. And that's our goal, so that you can raise the floor. So your baseline, your 5-pound bag is now a 6-pound bag.
I like what you just said about it is you, because that reminds me of what we were talking about on the last call too, in case people missed it. But just a short and sweet, like most programs and challenges and things like that, they just go straight to action, and it feels good in the moment. Honestly, it's just a big dopamine hit of look, I'm doing the things. But you're inevitably going to fall on your face, and I don't mean that in a mean way, but it's just you're setting yourself up for failure when you don't take, we were talking about capacity limits into consideration, and then you don't learn how to actually anchor these changes. It just becomes surface level change. So what we do in our program, and why it is a lengthier program, with 90 days though, is really not that long, because it can take you, like us, decades to figure all this kind of stuff out. But it's a length of time that is right sized because it's long enough that you really can build that awareness around what you're doing. Then take action that is the right size for your capacity and continue to increase that. And then we teach you how to anchor it in. Because those 3 things, we talked about the sandwich the last time, you need all components of that sandwich for it to stay together. Otherwise, it's just going to fall apart.
Just stuff everywhere. So yeah, I mean, I really don't have much to add to the program itself. So if you guys are interested in something like that, obviously we're going to be posting more details on here, but feel free to reach out to either one of us. We're happy to answer any individual questions you might have about the program that we're going to start February 1st or any of the other things that we have to offer. I guess just check the group, make sure your notifications are on so that you can see stuff. We promise not to post stuff that's not worthwhile. I don't waste anybody's time.
But you can reach directly out to us too.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do phone calls, we'll message us if you want. I do clarity calls. Christina's working during the day, so if you have availability during the day, I can help you out. If you're a night owl, this one's awake, I'm not. But I think like talking to people too, some of the questions we got in the last round, people were concerned of how can I do a group program if I'm this age or I have this struggle or this health condition or anything like that. And so just to briefly touch on that of like we meet everybody where they're at and it's customizable enough to the point that we really can work with anybody. So if you do have a concern or you have a specific challenge that you think you want to talk through to see if this program would work for you, feel free to reach out to us. Honestly, it can work for anyone no matter what age, what season of life you're in. It is really just a container that supports your growth. We are just guiding you through what you want to do in your life and how to do that in a way that feels good, is easy, and is sustainable so that you can be happy, healthy, and hopefully have some new friends.
All right. Well, we've talked your ears off for a while now. Like we said, if you guys have questions, let us know. But hope you guys enjoyed tonight's call.
And see you next Wednesday.
Yes.
Bye.